Hey there, welcome back. The Herman's Garage here. Today, we're going to talk about a car that should have never existed in the first place. The DeLorean DMC-12. That's right, this car was an absolute disaster from start to finish, and I'm going to tell you why. First of all, let's talk about the design. The DeLorean DMC-12 was designed by a man named John DeLorean, who apparently had no idea what he was doing. The DeLorean DMC-12 looks like the kind of car that was designed by somebody who had never actually seen a car before. It's like they got someone to describe a car over the phone and just started drawing.
Yeah, it's got wheels and a windshield and doors. Wait, what's a hood? Oh, never mind. Let's just put the engine in the back.
It's got gull-wing doors, which are cool for about 10 seconds, until you realize that they're completely impractical. I'm editing right now and I just found this on Reddit. I eat my words. If this were a normal car door, you're not getting into your car. Let's not forget about the stainless steel body. Sure, it looks cool and futuristic, but it's a nightmare to maintain. The slightest scratch or blemish is going to be visible from a mile away. It's like driving around in a giant disco ball. You know what they say, if you can't dance, drive a DeLorean and let the world dance around you. But if you do happen to dance, make sure you park that thing far away from any sunlight, otherwise you'll blind everyone on the dance floor with your reflection. There's more. The DeLorean DMC was an absolute disaster under the hood. The engine was underpowered, the transmission was a nightmare, and the handling was like trying to steer a brick through a slalom course. It's like John DeLorean just threw a bunch of parts together and hoped for the best. How did this car even come to exist in the first place? Well, John DeLorean was a former executive at General Motors who decided to start his own car company. He was convinced that he could build a car that would revolutionize the industry. Spoiler alert, he was wrong. DeLorean managed to secure funding from the British government to build his car in Northern Ireland. The idea was to create jobs in an area that was struggling economically. Unfortunately, the project was plagued with problems from the start. The factory was poorly managed, the workers were poorly trained, and the quality control was non-existent. It was like trying to build a car in a frat house. But wait, it gets worse. John DeLorean was also involved in a massive drug trafficking scandal in the early 1980s. He was caught on tape trying to sell cocaine to fund his failing car company. He was eventually acquitted of all charges, but the damage had been done. The DeLorean DMC-12 was forever tainted by its association with drugs and crime.
The GTO came out, and that was John DeLorean's baby. So he was sort of a hero of mine. And then, of course, he just turned out to be another sleazy Coke dealer, It's a huge disappointment to me. You're not even selling Coke to feed your family, pure greed. He could have financed his farm or something if he wanted to.
The manufacturing of the DeLorean DMC-12 came to a halt in 1982 after just 3 years of production. The company had gone bankrupt and only around 9,000 cars had been produced. The DeLorean DMC-12 was a complete and utter failure. But here's the thing, the DeLorean DMC-12 has somehow managed to maintain a cult following over the years. It's been featured in movies like Back to the Future, and there are still people out there who are obsessed with this car. It's like the automotive equivalent of a bad boy. Everybody knows it's a disaster, but they can't help but be drawn to it. In conclusion, the DeLorean DMC-12 should have never existed in the first place. It was a disaster from start to finish with a terrible design, terrible performance, and terrible manufacturing. But somehow, it's managed to maintain a following over the years. Maybe it's because of the pop culture references, or maybe it's because people just love a good train wreck. Either way, the DeLorean DMC-12 will always be remembered as one of the biggest automotive failures of all time. And we can all be grateful that we don't have to drive one on a daily basis. Make sure you subscribe if you want to see more content like this, share it with your mates, and I'll see you next time.